Hello and many thanks for joining us on Biz Headlines on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Ernestina Sewa Asante. To our very first story, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has said he will restore the licenses of banks that were wrongly collapsed if elected the president of the Republic in the next general elections. He made the promise while delivering his formal acceptance speech on May 15, 2023. John Dramani Mahama was declared the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress on May 13th. The former president noted that his government will create a tier banking system that will boost Ghana's financial sector. Following the announcement of a reduction in transport fares, a presidential staffer, Dennis Miracle Abuaji, has called on producers and retailers of cement to also reduce their prices. According to him, cement prices increased when the dollar was selling at about 16 cedis. Therefore, it should also reduce now that the dollar has reduced to about 11 cedis. The Ghana cedi has been the world's best performer against the dollar over the past 6 months, Bloomberg has reported. The gold, cocoa and oil producer is just an inch away from getting board approval from the IMF for a $3 billion extended credit facility to boost her economic credibility. This would enable the country to regain access to the international capital market to borrow more to boost economic productivity, ahead of the anticipated IMF board approval after Ghana recently secured financing assurances for the restructuring of her $5.7 billion external debt. Foreign investors appear to be looking favorably to the country. The cedi has also advanced 33% since November, the biggest gain among about 150 currencies tracked by Bloomberg. Also, Ghana's dollar bonds have delivered a strong performance, providing investors with a return of almost 12%, more than 3.6% average for emerging and frontier peers in a Bloomberg index. PURC has announced an increment in tariffs for electricity and natural gas to 18.36%. According to the Commission, the move is to avert power outages, otherwise known as doomsor, which could harm individuals and businesses. In the press release cited by GhanaWeb Business, it stated that the review was to maintain the real value of the cost of supply of utility services. PURC also blamed the depreciation of the local currency, cedi, against the US dollar, high inflation, electricity generation mix, and the weighted average cost of natural gas as the factors that influenced the latest increment. It's noted that the quarterly tariff review mechanism aims at tracking and incorporating changes in key sectors used in determining natural gas and electricity tariffs. Dealers in second-hand clothing have lamented a 153% hike in import duty, saying thousands of Ghanaians risk losing their source of livelihood if nothing is done about it. In the first quarter of 2022, the Ghana Used Clothing Association said it cost 15,000 cedis as import duty on a 40-foot container. However, since the first quarter of this year, it has gone up to over 300% to 38,000 cedis. The situation the association lamented is further worsened by factors such as cedi depreciation, high inflation and harsh economic environment, including the deteriorating purchasing power of consumers and further taxes. As a result, industry players say the once booming industry is now going through a rough patch, with as many as 70% of second-hand clothing dealers losing their livelihood because of the knock-on effect of import duty, cost on cost of second-hand clothing bales, which are sold at wholesale points for exorbitant prices. IMF has approved Ghana's request for $3 billion bailout. The IMF Executive Board met to discuss the approval for the funding on Wednesday. The report, however, added that the announcement will be done later in the day. The Minister of State in charge of Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, had disclosed that the International Monetary Fund will likely approve the first tranche of the 600 million loan for Ghana by Wednesday, May 17th. According to him, the government expects the IMF Executive Board to approve the credit facility after meeting all preconditions and requirements, particularly after financing assurances have been granted by official creditors, China and the Paris Club. Thank you for watching Biz Headlines on GhanaWeb TV, but we have more stories on www.ghanaweb.com. Do well to follow us on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at the GhanaWeb, on YouTube, GhanaWeb TV. My name is Ernestina Sewa Asante.